Hey guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial for you. It's going to be consisting of a cut crease look. If you would like to see how I did this look, then let's get started. So today I'm going to be working out of a few of my Juvia's Place palettes. There's like different shades in each one. All the information is going to be in the description box. And the first one I'm going to be starting with is this Magic palette right here. There's two dark shades at the bottom that kind of look similar, but I'm going to be utilizing the one that has the blue undertone, which is going to be this one right here. I can't really pronounce the name, so I'll just hold the palette up and then I'll also put that information in the description box. So let me go ahead and grab my brush. I'm going to be utilizing this Laura Geller double-sided brush. It doesn't have a number or anything on it, but I'm going to go ahead and tap my brush into that deep shade, and I'm going to go ahead and lay down the foundation of this cut crease look. So I'm just going to press and then start dragging the color or dragging the brush to create a shape. And I'm not doing this heavy-handed. I'm just pressing, just lightly pressing and just packing the shade. And once again, I'm slightly going over my natural crease. I'm just going to keep dipping into the product until I get the intensified look that I'm going for, and continue to create the shape that I'm also looking for. I'm going to need to bring my mirror just a little bit closer. I'm just checking to make sure I'm not going out too far and that the sides are fairly even. Let me tap off some of this color because I feel a little bit of fallout happening. Okay, so now that I have put this color down, I'm going to go into my 217. I'm going to use my 217 and I'm going to swap palettes real quick. And I'm going to be going into the Culture palette, and I am going to be getting Shekere. It's going to be this bright blue shade right here, and I am going to put that above this dark line right here, slightly above my crease. It's a matte shade. And I'm just going to pack this down. I'm just going to slightly overlap what I have already put down. Let me adjust my mirror a little bit. Just going to continue to pack this color down to my liking. I'm going to lightly blend this out, just very lightly. I don't want to move anything, just lightly diffuse. I'm going to swap to a different brush so that way I can concentrate this as I'm blending it. I'm going to be using a Morphe M507 brush, and it's going to look like this. I'm going to go back into that last color, pack some color down, and then I'm slightly going to blend the edges, just light-handedly. I'm going to go back and grab my L'Oreal brush, and I need to fix up this part right in here. I'm actually going to wipe the brush off because it did have the first shade that I used, and I don't want to put any color right there. I'm just going to go in with that last shade that I had because I don't want to make this dark right here. I'm just trying to keep the shape. There we go. See? Just like that. I'm just going to go into my original shade. There's going to be some back and forth because sometimes when you're working and you're doing some blending, you might lose the concentration of the color, or lose some of the pigment, I should say. And so you might have to go back and just reapply some of it. And that's what we're going to do, just like that. I'm going to go back into the Morphe brush. I'm going to wipe it off, and I'm just going to blend the edges. As you can see, I'm swooping it under, creating that roundness. I'm going to add a little bit more pigment into the Magic palette. I'm going to grab that shade again, and I'm going to work on my outer V. Just going to put some depth right here, just like the other side. Just going to pack this down. Just like that. So now what I'm going to do is grab my eye primer, which is also by Juvia's Place. It is the shade number 2. I'm going to put a little bit of that on the back of my hand. This is what I'm going to use to cut the crease. And I'm going to grab a flat brush that looks like this. This is a regular paintbrush. It is by Low Cornell, and it's a 7400 angler brush. And I believe I got this at Michael's. I think on my last video, I think I said Hobby Lobby, but for some reason Michael's is what keeps popping up in my head. So I'm just gonna tap my brush in that, just work it on the brush. And I'm gonna go ahead and start creating my crease, or my cut crease. Do the little trick, see if it works this time. Just a little bit. As you can see, it put like a little dot right there. That's just going to give me a guideline. I might have to swipe or swap out brushes if my line doesn't come out clean enough. I might grab another brush. I'm not going to drag this like all the way over. I'm just going to go about right here. I'm going to grab another liner brush. It's going to be this one. This is by Lab 2. It is a Get in Shape Brow and Liner brush. And it looks like this. It's just a regular flat angle brush. And I'm going to put a little bit more of the primer on the back of my hand and dry it out just a little bit. I'm going to dip that brush into it. I'm just going to go over my original lines and then fill out the rest of the crease. I'm just trying to sharpen these edges some. I'm going to turn the brush backwards and I'm just going to go inward. Just going to blend this primer out. I think I'm pretty okay with this. I feel like once I get the colors down, I can just blend these edges. And that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to grab that Morphe brush that I had. I'm going to wipe it off. And I'm going to go back into my Magic palette and I'm going to grab this shade right here. I'm going to go over the edges so that way they're not as harsh. Just like this. Just soften them up. Just like so. I'm going to use the other paintbrush and I'm just going to try to blend this out. I'm going to wipe off some of this primer because right now I don't want to add, I just want to blend. Just like that. And now I'm going to get the L'Oreal brush. I'm going to dip back into my Juvia's Place palette. I'm going to grab this shade right here and I'm going to overlap it. Or start blending the two shades together. Well, mix it with the primer, I should say blend the primer. Just like this. So that way there's no harsh lines. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my Juvia's Place palette. That's the Masquerade palette. And I'm going to be utilizing this one called Dalia and Zola. These two shades right here. This is the one I'm going to put on for my mobile lid right in here. I'm going to fill in that cut crease. And this is what I'm going to use as a liner. So we're going to start with this one. I'm going to grab a Sonia Kashuk brush. Looks like this. I don't see a number or anything on it. It might have faded. But it's just like a pointy, angler type brush. And I'm going to dip in Dalia. I'm going to tap off the excess. And I'm going to start to lay this color down. I'm going to take my time to go along these edges. I'm just going to pack this color down. I'm going to take my brush and then turn it into, well, turn it the opposite direction, which is easier to kind of blend inward. There we go. Just pressing, packing down this color. I want to intensify it as much as I can. If you want it more intense, you can just wet your brush. But I like how it is right now. I'm okay with that. Okay, so I'm going to grab that Morphe brush again. I'm going to go back into that deep shade that we originally started our look with. And I'm just going to blend these lines just lightly. Just like so. Now I'm just going to make sure that both sides are pretty even, just checking to see what I need to make adjustments to. I feel like I need to add a little bit more color right in here. So I'm going to wipe off that Morphe brush. And I'm going to go back into the Culture palette. I'm going to grab that intense blue again. Dip my brush in that. And just blend this right in here. Just intensify it a little bit more. And also make it go further up to even out with this side. It was a little bit low. Just blending upward. Windshield wiper motions. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. So right now I'm going to grab a, I think this is an e.l.f. brush. It says e.l.f. Professional Eyeshadow Brush. I've had this for a long time. It's really good at packing down color as well. And it actually goes where you want it to go. Like, it doesn't fan out. It's pretty dense. And so I'm going to grab a color to put on my brow bone. And I'm going to go into the Magic palette. And I'm going to grab this shade right here. This tan looking shade. It's coming off a little bit darker on camera. But this one is called Nana. And that's what I'm going to put on my brow bone. I'm going to start right there. I'm just going to tap it. And I'm slightly gonna blend with this brush, the same brush. Just blend it into my transition color. I'm gonna wipe my brush. I'm gonna go back in my brow bone color. I'm gonna pack down more color. And then I'm gonna start to blend. Just lightly blend. I just wanna soften this line right here. And then blend the two shades together. Okay, I'm pretty satisfied with that. So now I'm going to grab a liner brush. This one is a Nika K. It says eyeliner brush. I can't really see the number, but it's just a very thin brush like so. I'm going to dip into my Mehron mixing medium or mixing liquid, it says. I put a little bit in a cap. I'm just going to dip my brush into this, and I'm going to go back into my Masquerade palette, and I am going to grab Zola right there. I'm just going to work my brush, my wet brush, into the color, just swirl it. And I am going to start to place this line. I like to start like right in here, not quite into the inner corner. And I'm just going to gradually build this. I'm going to add a little bit more mixing liquid. And then dip back into the eyeshadow once again. I'm just going to keep doing that until I can build the line to the consistency that I want. I'm slowly gonna take this color in here into the inner corner. I'm just gonna fan this out, just like that. Kind of just like a flaking. Then dip back into the mixing liquid again. Swirl my brush into the eyeshadow, just like this. And I'm just gonna go over the line. Now I'm just going to make sure they look the same or very close. I think I'm happy with that. I am going to grab my L'Oreal brush and I'm just going to pack down a little bit more on the outer V. And then also kind of go over this line to diffuse it a little bit because I want it to fade into the color. Just like that. So I'm pretty satisfied with that. So now I'm going to move on to eyeliner. I'm going to be using the Revlon ColorStay Skinny. It looks like this. And when you shake it, you can hear like a little ball. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I am going to create a small wing. I'm going to start in the inner corner because I want it fairly thin in here, but noticeable at the same time. Just creating a small little wing. I'm pretty satisfied with that, so I'm going to grab an eyeliner. I'm going to be using the LA Girls. This is the Shockwave Metallic Eyeliner. This one is in shade Dragon. Looks like this. It's like a metallic green shade, and I'm going to put this on my lower lash line. And I'm slightly gonna drag it along the lash line. So I'm gonna put it in my waterline and then drag it along the lash line. I'm gonna go all the way into the inner corner and fill this in as well. And don't forget to connect that outside, the outer portion right in here, the top and the bottom. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my original eyeshadow that I started with. It's going to be this one right here, and I am going to put that on the lower lash line. I have a pencil brush, and this one is by Dillium Tool 780. I'm going to dip my brush into that, and I am going to go over this liner. I'm just going to smoke it out. Just going to keep dipping my brush in there. I'm going to take it all the way in. This time I'm not worried about making my eyes look smaller. I'm just going to smoke this whole entire bottom lash line out. And then I'm going to fix the shape as well. Keep it rounded. If you want to wing it out, you can do that. It'll still look really nice, but I just want to keep this rounded shape. Just lightly going over this line to diffuse it a little bit. Okay, I'm pretty satisfied with that. So I'm just going to put on some mascara. This is going to just be a basic Maybelline mascara, because I will be putting lashes on. And I'm going to turn my brush like this, or the wand. And I'm also going to tap like my lower lash line, because I want it to define the lashes. Just like so. So next, what I think I'm going to do is fix my eyebrows. As you can see, I've already done my eyebrows, but it's just not the usual shape that I like. So I'm going to go over it with some clear mascara. This is by, well, yeah, this is from Wet n Wild. Just some clear mascara. I'm just going to run it through my brows. And then once I get done with this, I think I'm going to hop off camera and decide on what lip color I want to do. I'm kind of debating between like an orange and a red. And then I think I have the eyelashes that I want to do today. I've used them before. I will show you guys that before I take a little break. Okay, so this is going to be the eyelashes that I'm going to be using today. They look like this by Eye Envy. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. I'm going to put these on. I've utilized them already, and I will be back. Okay guys, I'm back. I did a little something with my hair. Well, it's a wig, and I'm struggling to get it the way I want it to, but anyways. So let's go ahead and move on to the next step. As you can see, I've already had a little bit of highlighter on my Cupid's bow, like the whole tutorial thus far. And I use the Saharan Blush Palette, Volume 1. And it is going to be Zara, this gold shade right here. And I am going to go ahead and figure out which lip color that I want to use. I want to do a red. I've been wanting to do a red lip for a minute, but I'm trying to decide to go whether I should go with these two or just this one. I'm kind of leaning towards this one. Okay, so let me grab a lip liner. I'm going to be using the Ultra Easy lip liner by Ruby Kisses. This one is in shade brown. I'm going to go ahead and line my lips. Okay, I'm pretty satisfied with that. So now I'm going to be using this Ardell. This is a matte whipped lipstick, and it is called Intense Lust. It's a pretty red. This is my first time using it, so I'm not sure if it's like along the lines of a liquid lipstick or not. Kind of feels like a liquid lipstick. And apply some more. Build up the color. one more time. Fill in the center. Okay, I want to see if this is going to dry down. It has a little bit of sheen to it. And I am going to move on to my blush. So I'm going to grab this palette once again. I think I'm going to go with Neo right here in the center. I'm going to grab a Real Techniques brush. This came in like a little Christmas gift set. It doesn't have like a number or anything on it. But I'm just going to apply this color on the cheeks. Once again, I'm just going to be a little bit heavy-handed because I feel like this look is dramatic and it can handle it. And if it's a little bit too intense for you, you can always go back with your powder brush and just go over it, you know, tone it down, which I think I'm going to do because it's really showing really intense on camera, like really, really intense. It's picking up. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to tone this down a bit. So I'm going to grab my powder brush. It already has a little bit of residuals on it, so I'm just going to go over it just like this. See how they toned that down? Same thing to the other side. You might have to dip in your powder a little bit more if you're going to do both sides like that. I'm just going to put a little bit of my face powder, which I am using the Black Radiance powder. This one is in Bronze Glow. I'm just going to tap it. See that? I feel like this is drying down like a liquid lipstick. It's a little bit tacky. Okay. I'm going to grab a little bit of that highlight color. I'm just going to reapply it on my Cupid's bow. Let's find a brush that is dainty, something kind of fluffy. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the Morphe brush. This one is the M14. Right, excuse me, M514. I'm going to go into Zara. I'm just going to lightly brush it. Just lightly tap it on my Cupid's bow. Okay, you guys, so I think I've showed you guys everything already. Off camera, I went ahead and applied those lashes that I showed you guys. I might go over the inner corner with a little bit of eyeliner because I was struggling to get this part down, but looks like I'll be okay. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. It was something fun. I was excited to do something today with makeup, and I thought I would bring you guys something a little bit more of a skill level, show you something a little different on my channel. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Be safe and God bless. Bye-bye.